All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, Pam.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Amazing. How about you?
Oh, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Can I just say I had a blast working at Autism Rocks 14. It was so much fun.
I'm glad. So I hope you put it on your calendar for next year because we'd like to have you back as an MC as well.
Oh, heck yeah. I got all your events on my calendar. I'm there because it's so rewarding. It's just a fantastic day of music and gosh, love and support for people who, oftentimes struggle every day. So, it's amazing. So tell me, give a little recap of Autism Rocks 14, if you can, for those that weren't there, and fill the folks in on what a beautiful day it was at Laurie's Roadhouse.
Oh, it was an amazing day. We were even blessed with the weather this year. I think it stayed around in the mid 50s for the entire day. We had close to over 1,600 people throughout the day attending the event. We had, of course, our fantastic music that was playing throughout the day that got kicked off with Melodic Connections, which had a huge following this year. And I cannot tell you that they were still speaking about playing at Autism Rocks. Even today, when they come into Ken Anderson Alliance for their music therapy, they are still talking about the chance they got to play on the big stage with the big boys in front of the big crowd. And I can't tell you how much that really meant to them. It's a memory they will live with for a very, very long time.
Pam, that melted my heart. I mean, that started the day off the right way, because from there on out, it was like, how are we gonna even up that? I mean, that was just beautiful. And the smiles on their faces up there on that stage under the lights. And it was a very special moment. If you missed it, you really missed something that was kind of a one-of-a-kind thing to do.
Yeah. And I think the other side of that is just seeing the reaction of the people who aren't used to being around our friends and not quite understanding how to communicate with them or share their feelings or thoughts. And for them to actually come up and congratulate them for the day that they had and the music they were playing, and for people to be singing along, melts the hearts of the people that are there, which is also the reason that we love Autism Rocks. It's not only a day about celebration, but it's also a day about awareness and inclusion.
Well, and it has a rich history, Autism Rocks does. I mean, it's been so special for years, and it has grown into this massive event. I mean, it has become... it's hard to describe. It's like a 3-ring circus in this place. I mean, there's auctions going on, there's raffles going on, there's magicians, there's people, sports stars walking through the crowd. It's just an absolute outpouring of love, and a lot of it's because of your leader there at Ken Anderson Alliance, Ken. And let me just say, what a pleasure it was to work beside him all day. He is such a great person and so into what he does. It warms your heart to see people giving back like he does.
Oh, absolutely. His heart is so into this due to his nephew, Drew, who is autistic. Drew had an outburst with his family members, and it became physical. And it was the first time that Kenny saw it and knew there was going to be a need for a place to grow, for Drew to grow up and live. And that's how he came up with the concept of building the community, which is what we're striving for. And we plan to break ground in 2025, where we can do supportive living for all of our friends. They will have their own football field, their own basketball, their own baseball. They will have a place for music and plays. They will also have their own urgent care will be right there on site. So they don't have to worry about, they'll have their medical needs 24/7.
That's outstanding.
Yeah,
it truly is.
Yeah.
What a big undertaking. I mean, this has got lofty goals here. Literally. I mean, it's not something you say, oh, I'm going to help out the disabled community a little bit. I'm going to build a community for them. That's a lot.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
I'll give you the funniest thing is last year we went to break ground, and unfortunately bats from Indiana had migrated to the trees and they were protected. So we could not break ground until the migration period for the bats had passed. So it's just kind of funny how, things come together, and, those are those things to us, you got to sit back and laugh about, because our friends have more challenges every day than anything that I can imagine going through. So just to bring the smiles to their face is well worth it.
Yeah, and that's what makes it all so important, and all the work and labor that goes into this event. It's a huge undertaking. Autism Rocks is from getting the bands secured to getting the prizes, the baskets for the raffles, the signed memorabilia from all the sports people, and then let alone just the logistics of coordinating the event, ticket wise, bringing people in. You guys made my day. I'll tell you that. You made me some sports cards, and I've never had my own baseball card before, and that was kind of cool.
Is
And
that
it was awesome. It really was. And I appreciate that. And I gave those to several kids that day and signed them for them. And you're running around there like you're some sort of star or something doing that. And they look up to everybody that's working that event and doing the event. And one thing I did notice, and I want to mention this, I mentioned it on the show at the day after when we recapped it, but this nice lady walked up. I was standing with Ken off stage, and we were getting ready to go up and make some announcements after Melodic Connection. And she walked up and she says, "That's my son up there with the guitar in the orange shirt." And she said, "God bless you for what you do, Ken Anderson." I thought, wow. Well, and she kept going on and on about things, and she walked away. And I looked at Kenny and I said, "Makes it all worthwhile, doesn't he?" He said, "It's exactly." He said, "That's what we do it for." And that was so cool to hear the gratitude that pours out to the Ken Anderson Alliance for what they do, not just at Autism Rocks, but every day, Pam.
Oh, no, we totally appreciate it. If you're having a bad day, you can just step in and listen to our friends in the back play music and dance, or step into our art room and watch them do things on their own, or jump over to the coffee shop and actually watch them perform customer service and make sandwiches. It just reminds you that we are blessed every day to be here. And our gift is to make sure that everyone we touch, we make a difference. And that's what we're here for at Ken Anderson Alliance. I can't tell you how much that day means to me. I look forward to that event every year. The amount of kids that we are able to support at that event. We had a family who generally have not been able to attend concerts. They've tried every kind of earplugs, headsets, everything you can think of. I have no idea where I just went. Everything you could think of. And hasn't been successful. And this year we had brought some fidgets for our family friends, and we had brought some noise canceling special headphones for some of our family friends. And his name is Jack. Jack was able to actually sit and enjoy the concert. And on top of that, I gave his dad a set of the same headphones so he could hear what his son was hearing, which is something that a lot of people don't understand. It's hard to understand what they're hearing or seeing. And those headphones, his dad, the expression on his face and the emails we got from him saying what a difference we have made in his life, not just that day, but now they're able to go to the Cyclone game. Now they can go to a restaurant. We took him from being isolated and gave him a life outside in the community. And all it was a set of headphones at an experience at Autism Rocks.
So cool.
Yes.
I mean, I cannot say enough about this organization, folks. And if you haven't ever been around anybody that works for or is associated with the Ken Anderson Alliance, you'll never meet a nicer group of people. Their hearts are in it for the right reason. It's not a money-making charity any way, shape, or form for any of those folks. It is a well-run machine which takes care of business every day and really supports the disabled community, not just in Cincinnati, but in the tri-state area. And people come from near and far to receive the benefits. And like Pam said, they've got a coffee house and things like that. I mean, there's so much if you learn about Ken Anderson Alliance. Let me throw up the website on the screen if I can. It is www.kenandersonalliance.org. And if you're not familiar with Ken, former Bengals quarterback, great. And he's given back to his community, and he's back in Cincinnati now. He moved to Hilton Head for a while. He's back, and man, is he active. He is doing it. He's everywhere, and we love it. Pam, what else do we want to talk about at that event? Some of the folks who really, let me mention something first. The musicians. That's obviously what the event's geared around. There's music all day long that focuses people in. But did you happen to notice the amount of local musicians who weren't playing, who were there to support the event? It was crazy. It,
It
it
is.
just, it's so cool to see that people come together like that.
I think they're finally, it took us a while. It was all about education, but I don't know that they understood. Every foundation has a different way of mentoring or teaching skills. Ken Anderson Alliance is music based. All of our skills that we teach, most of our outings are music based. You can go to another organization and they might have a woodworking shop. You can go to another organization and they might do baked goods. But that's not what Ken Anderson Alliance is. Ken Anderson Alliance is based around music therapy. Music on a Mission is what we call it. We have that band that you saw, Melodic Connections, that plays. They'll be at Riding and Rockin' for Autism this year, and I can't tell you how excited they are for that one. They love those motorcycles and be able to come out like rock stars. But then we also have a couple where they go out into the community and actually listen to music that they hear and then come back to Ken Anderson Alliance and write songs based on the sounds within the community. And that's a program we just started where literally we pick them up because transportation is a huge hiccup for a lot of our friends. So we pick them up, we take them out in the community for 4 hours, and we bring them back home. And the therapy that they get, the therapy that the family gets, is enough to make their days for 7 to 10 days. It takes away that locked up isolation, not only from the family who don't go anywhere, but also from the individual. So music is what we're here, and that's why we love the support of the music community. Karis, of course, does the kickoff event every year. And that's actually where we drew our first couple of bands when we moved over to Laurie's Roadhouse. We went out to Bell and the Bear and listened to some of the groups out there. We picked up Tory Faith, I believe, that year when we did the bands, the 32 bar loop during COVID.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, we picked up all that music. That was 32 bars that picked up and bands played absolutely free. It was something that's and now where that used to be the East Side, West Side, if you're in Bell and the Bear now, you will see bands from the West Side now at Bell and the Bear, and you will see bands that were only playing on the East Side now playing over on the West Side. And that was enough for us to be aware, to send that awareness out among the music community. So we hit, the East and the West Side. But to see them come together every year is incredible.
Well, Pam, I'm going to get to some comments here, folks. I see all your comments. Thank you for that. And Pam, you mentioned something too, and I want to emphasize it is, a lot of people focus the event and focus the work that you do on those who are disabled and the help that they get. But it's also a community. It's a family issue. The families work so hard to care for these folks. And if they can get a little bit of a break or a little bit of a support system in place that is there from the Ken Anderson Alliance, isn't it so rewarding for them and gives them just a little breath once in a while, because this is a full-time job, folks. Most of these folks they're taking care of that are autistic and such, it is a full-time job for someone in the home, and they work really hard at it. The families, I admire all these families for having the strength that they have to do what they do, Pam.
Absolutely. And we also have recently started with the integrated employment out in the community. So now we have 4 of our individuals that work out in the community. They get paid what you and I get paid. They have the same responsibility as you and I. So we have a gentleman out at Gabby's Cafe. So if you want to help support our mission and support those who support us, that's out there in Wyoming. It's an Italian net. It's handmade food. It's absolutely awesome. Ben works out there. He's been working out there since October. He originally was doing nothing but wiping down tables. And now he is a dishwasher for the entire restaurant, even during their busy time of the year. It is something incredible to watch him mature. We have Rachel, who works out in Mason at Nothing Bundt Cakes with Mary. And I'm sure everybody's familiar with her.
Love Mary. She's
Rachel,
awesome.
Yes, Rachel has started communicating with the staff out there, which Rachel had gotten to a point where she just wasn't speaking anymore due to the inclusion in her home. And Rachel's been out there since November, and she now prompts and starts her own questions and conversations on her own. And I can't tell you how much that means to the family, that they see the change that's happening and appreciate how much the community are making that happen. So
what an amazing thing, Pam. I mean, that right there says it all. I mean, it does, that you've done those kind of things for people, and You work hard at this event. I want to give you props because I watched you work like an absolute crazy woman that day, and you got it done along with a lot of others. And Mike posted here, Mike from the Whammies. He's in a great band in Cincinnati. Mike said, any future volunteer options for Ken Anderson? Can you mention any way to contact somebody if you want to volunteer there?
Yeah, you can reach out to me. My number is 513-255-6621. If you're speaking about playing, I am looking for musicians for our Riding and Rockin', which will be held at Queen City Harley. That is our all-day motorcycle event. It starts the day off with a ride, a 2-hour ride, and then we have food trucks and live music the rest of the day. It is on a Saturday this year. Generally, our event's on a Sunday, but a lot of our motorcycle friends asked us to move it to a Saturday on purpose. So we have done that. So we would love to have, if you want to step up and volunteer, we need volunteers for the event. And we also need some musicians that would like to play that event. We also need volunteers that we have what's called a drum circle. And that's where our musicians from the community come in here and volunteer their time to play with close to 30 individuals that come here to play music. We have individuals that write their own songs, and we help them do that. So there is plenty of volunteer opportunities. If music is your love and your soul, and you understand how it can make a difference in a person's life. I mean, even in the morning, I get up and play my favorite music, it affects us all every day. You can reach out to me and I'll get you hooked up in whatever you're interested in.
Perfect. Thank you, Pam. And I want to say, too, that volunteering for this organization with some of the things I've done, hosting events and such, has been so rewarding for me. So I encourage anybody out there to reach out and help. This is a good cause. This is one that, like I said, they're not taking a bunch of overhead and spending a lot of money in places it shouldn't. It's going right back into the community. And Autism Rocks, what a day, what an event. Beautiful music all day long. We had some fantastic entertainers there, Pam, that were up on stage all day long. And even, working side by side with Ken as an announcer and Jeff Beccaro, we had a ball just watching the music. It was so cool. And to watch the guys, too, and I've got to give them a shout out, the production team, the stage managers, the people who were moving, all these moving parts on and off the stage, different bands. And if you play music, to load in and load out is a difficult task, not to mention doing it within 10 minutes because we were rolling bands in that fast and out that fast. And what a day. Just really cool. Kara, thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. Jim McCarthy, thank you. We love you producing here and giving us the link to Ken Anderson Alliance. And Kara says her friend works in the coffee shop. Okay, there we go. Well, that's cool. Pam, we want to get to the total.
All right.
Are you ready?
I am ready for the total.
You're gonna knock me out with this, aren't you? I can't even imagine what a great day it was.
So first of all, I want to remind everybody that the bands donate their time. So that is a price tag in itself that we could never afford. So our hearts are so thankful for that and alone. So keep in mind that's not included. We also have the P section. All of that food is donated. We have our photographers who completely donate their time. The production staff, as Scott had mentioned, completely donate their time. So in donation guesstimate of value of time and effort that is given back to Ken Anderson Alliance, that exceeds $80,000 alone. That is an amount that would break this event if we did not have you, and I'm talking to every one of you right now, who step up and help us with this event. We couldn't do it without everybody in the community. No one is too small to help on this event, and we want to continue to grow it. So I want to give that first shout out right there where it's earned. To give from your heart and give from your treasure, you're not going to see a better group than what we have. So having said that, on top of that, we made over $80,000 this year. Wow. And we still have funds coming in. We last year were given support from our annual sponsors, were included in our total last year. So our total last year was $75,000 with some support from our annual sponsors. This year we decided that we're going to go without annual sponsor support. So this year it's over 80,000 without annual sponsor support. So I want you to know that every dollar you give and on that day goes right to programming. We have 2 waiting lists alone for our day program. We have outgrown our space here at Ken Anderson Alliance. We have served over 300 people in our engaged community outings and continue to have wait lists for those as well. So I can't tell you enough how much this day means, that everyone in the community, no matter what challenges they face, they are welcome to attend this event. And if you ever get a chance to meet a parent that for the first time is enjoying live music, good food, and good people while their child can run around and be themselves, there's not another event around like Autism Rocks. So a huge shout out goes to everybody in our community, from Karis opening her bar for the kickoff to Talon Tavern, who raised $5,000 on their 10-day countdown. Strong Brick Oven Pizza, who donates a month of pizzas, $1 for every pizza. Strong donates for the month. We have Maggie's Magnificent Mini Cheesecakes that donates all of her tips and 20% of her sales from January, February, and March. So we'll be doing a check presentation from her next week. And then we have MVP, who we are picking up a check there for $3,500 today for their 9-day celebration and for their celebration and selling their autism t-shirts over there. So all in all, if you want to put the 80 grand with the other 80 grand, with the other 3,500 that's coming in, you guys rocked it. And
that's incredible. That's an amazing one-day event. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And you know, some little things that go on there that people, if you haven't been there, a Bengals player will sign a football and put it in the auction. Oh, yeah. The other Bengals players are bidding on the football to run the bid up, so and because they want that guy's name on a football in their showcase. It is amazing to watch it happen, and the outpouring of love and support and meeting all those folks. I mean, I've had great conversations with former Bengal greats there, Reds greats, you know, and not to mention just a host of celebrities from Cincinnati who show up for this event as well. So, yes, Pam, you rock.
Oh no, we rock. We rock together. Thank you.
We had a great time together, and thank you for choosing me to be one of your MCs that day. I absolutely highly enjoyed it again, and it was so much fun to just be part of that event. And I'll be there every year you want me to be there for sure.
Yes, sir. We'd love to have you.
Well, anything else you want to share today before we let everybody go here? We're about out of time, but anything else you want to share? Ken couldn't make it with us today. He's actually meeting with another big charity group, so we're glad he's doing that because he works the room well. I will say that. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what else you got to share with everybody before we go today?
I just want to remind everybody, of course, of next year. It's always the first Sunday after the Super Bowl. We are already contracted, thankfully, with Lori's Roadhouse and their staff, and I can't do a big enough shout out for them as well.
Wow. Yeah.
Know where we'll be. We'll be right there. You know, Lori and her husband drove in from Florida the night before just so they could attend this event. So I need you to know that their heart and their staff and Tyler and Samantha and all of them are just as invested in this event as anybody else. And then we have our Riding and Rockin' coming up at Queen City Harley. So if you want to support us again and you want to see great music and you want to see great people and you're going to see a day that will make a difference in your heart, please check out the KenAndersonAlliance.org and our event page, and you will see them all listed.
And I will tell you, folks, I'll be there at that event, Riding and Rockin' as well. We're going to have a lot of fun with that one. And also, if you're a band or somebody who wants to volunteer, just shoot me a message here at All Around Town Radio. I'll connect you with Pam, and we'll get things. We'll make the connection there because that's what we do, and we would love to do it. Pam, I can't thank you enough. Over $80,000, not to mention all the other donated. I mean, you really look at this event; it's a $200,000 day. Let's just lump it into that. A $200,000 day in one day to make a difference in people's lives. And, you know, hats off to your organization. Everybody I've ever worked with at Ken Anderson Alliance are class acts. You know, and we got to give one last little thing. I've got to give a prop here. DJ Dave Kale started this years ago because of his son, Parker. We were able to present Parker with a birthday cake that day. It was 18th birthday. And if you've watched Parker grow, you know as well as I do, he's grown as well. And
Yes.
all these programs are helping him so much. And that's just a perfect example. So a lot of good people involved in this event. Absolutely. And the leader of the ship, Ken Anderson, you'll never meet a better person there that wants to give back to his community. So, guys, if you can support the organization, get on the KenAndersonAlliance.org website and see how you can either help by volunteering or donating to the cause. You can donate all year long. You don't have to do it just at Autism Rocks, right, Pam?
Nope. We actually have Pig Abilities coming up. So if you want to support me and Pig Abilities, and that's our 1 mile walk that's connected with the Flying Pig, so those with disabilities can enjoy in the event. They get the same thing everybody else does. They get a T-shirt, a medal. They get to cross the line. They get time, the whole 9 yards. So Ken Anderson's playing a big role in that this year. So if you want to support me and Pig Abilities and my team, or you'd like to come and walk with us, check it out. It's on our page.
I love the name Pig Abilities.
I know.
That's awesome. That's
it's
awesome.
A swine event, they say.
Well, Pam, I'm going to give you one more little bit of props. You work hard. Thank you for coming on and revealing this total. And Pam's going to share this show, obviously, out there on their pages. We'll have it on our page. If you're watching after we're live, guys, make some comments. Let us know. Pam and I will monitor that and see what you have to say. And if you have any questions, again, www.KenAndersonAlliance.org. There's all kinds of ways to connect with them on that page. Thanks, Pam.
Thank you. You guys have an amazing day.
You too, as well. And what? I didn't hear you.
You make a difference.
Yes. Thank you, Pam. You're a wonderful person. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back with you tomorrow live here on Thursday with who's playing out in the Tri-State, the best bands and venues in the Tri-State, and where they're playing for the week. Join us at 5 tomorrow. I'm Scott Hall, your host, along with Pam from the Ken Anderson Alliance. Thanks for watching today, guys. We'll see you next time. If I can get the button to hit.